Welcome to BlackUSA.news morning show. I'm your host, William Honolulu Jr. Join us as we explore the news and opinions that impact our community. We break down how the major stories have a very personal, local, and racial impact. No topic is off limits, but even if the conversation gets rough, we're always going to keep it real.
Greetings and salutations, all my people out there in internet land. I am William Honolulu Jr., and I have the privilege and honor of serving as the host of the BlackUSA.news morning show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a great show for you today, especially out here for the parents. Those of you all who have young people who are maturing, getting ready for that age where they leave high school and the comforts of home and go to the harsh and unrelenting world of college and further academics. But it doesn't even have to be that dramatic. It really doesn't. We got a brother on here today, James Henderson, one of my good friends. I think I've known him 20 some years back in undergrad days and stuff like that. But so I can't tell you what else is going to get said today because sometimes that happens. Like people know you from the olden days. Like, oh yeah, wait, no, that's not a story we tell here. Okay, if I'm gonna be honest, that normally happens with me. I'm normally the person that talks about this stuff. That's not okay. Never mind, never mind. I think he'll be good, but y'all know how it goes. You know how I get excited when I'm getting ready to talk to. Okay, show notes. Oh, so I got to be professional with this one. Okay. Uh, Want to say a big shout out to the super producer Kyle Crazy Horse Morgan and our assistant producer Brandy Raymar, who do an awesome job of making sure that we have all the tools and resources we need to provide quality content to you all week long. Want to say a big shout out to some of our sponsors, Darker Than Blue Grill. Y'all know I need to go ahead and get me some more of that. Cowboy prime rib and edible arrangements. Fruit is always amazing. Always amazing. The candy is phenomenal. Comes to your house. It even gets DoorDash now. DoorDash, y'all. You can get fruit covered with candy. DoorDash to your house. My endocrinologist is not so happy that I found out about this, but what you gonna do? Like, I'm not gonna eat it? That's crazy. So if you wanted to celebrate something like your high school student, get ready to go to college. See how we tying it all back in? If you want to celebrate something, stop by the Edible Arrangements in Govins or in Randallstown or actually in Pittsburgh. They are always really engaged in the community, though, especially those. Now, I can't talk about all their locations. I'm sure they're great people, but I can talk about those three locations, always doing stuff and holding down the Black community. Let's see. I Am Black Wall Street, the book by Donnie Glover. It is a wonderful piece of scholarship that goes in a different direction than people when they generally talk about Black Wall Street. Normally, when people talk about Black Wall Street, it's a focus on what it was, or like how amazing Black Wall Street was, or how horrible it was when it was destroyed. It's particularly talking about the Tulsa, Oklahoma space that was designated Black Wall Street and Greenwood in Tulsa. But what he does is takes a little bit of a different spin on it. He takes a look at how people got to Tulsa, Oklahoma. He also talks about the other locations that were designated Black Wall Streets as well, and he gives us kind of a idea of what they went through, some of the decision making and some of the thoughts that they had and making it to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And to be honest, some of it reads like a pretty good blueprint for what we're trying to do now. I mean, sadly, we're celebrating, memorializing 100 years since the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombing and massacre. And a lot of the things that they were fighting for, the issues that they have, the magnitude, again, I'm not trying to take nothing away from any progress we've made, but we still got a lot of work left to do. And so if we can start taking an opportunity and thinking about how we come together, how do we leverage our resources? How do we stand strong, united? I don't think we're going to be able to successfully fend off the attacks from capitalism, racism, misogynoir, because we're all will be too busy fighting over things that don't matter. And real talk, I don't want that. I don't want that for us. So yeah. So pick up his book. I'm sorry, y'all know, y'all know how I get into stuff, and then I forget what I'm supposed to be talking about. I don't even honestly. I got to be honest. I don't know how long they're gonna let me keep this job because it's not. I'm not a professional at this. Y'all know how it is. I like talking to people, like and educating you on, letting y'all know what's really going on. So, I got another opportunity to do that. And again, I want to make sure that we focus on our parents out there or people who are guardians or actively engaged in a young person's life. Tell you a little bit before the brother comes to the stage. You all know I have two sons, LJ and Diddy. Uh, they both went on the college tour that we're going to talk about. LJ actually went on the HBCU and the Ivy League tour, I think, and I think Diddy went on. I know Diddy went on the HBCU tour. And so my youngest, he's brilliant. Oldest one, incredibly smart. But I want to talk about the youngest one for just a second, because the youngest one, he thought he would, because when we originally had scheduled the college tour, it was supposed, spring break that year was like 7 or 8 days, but we had a whole bunch of snow, so it went from an 8-day spring break to like a 4-day, like a long weekend with a couple extra days in the next week. So they were trying to make up the days, and the youngest said, I don't know if I want to go on a college tour anymore. It's like, honestly, there's none of the schools that were on my list are on it. And I was just going, because I think it's important that I see about HBCUs, but none of them are on my list. And that's when I get back, I'll only have 1 day of actual spring break. And I was I'm struggling because at that time we had gotten divorced, and I'm really still trying to figure out what does this co-parenting kind of thing look like. And so I'm thinking I don't want to lay the hammer down. Like, well, look, people already paid money because in my day, if somebody wrote a check about anything, oh, you were going. Like, unless you like, I remember one day my head was hurting, nose was stuffed up. You know what these Bammers did? They took some of that old Dr. Watkins salve, like slathered it all on my chest and sent me out to school anyway because they had paid for the field trip. So, okay. You all know that you're part of my personal therapy journey. I apologize for that. So okay, back to the story. So he was like, I don't really want to go. So I'm like, I don't want to be, because he's maturing. I'm trying to help him learn how to make good decisions. And I don't want to just be like, hey, go, you're going to go because some people paid. And so I was like, okay, now walk me through why not. He said, well, none of the schools are on my list. And I was like, okay, so what does that mean? Well, it seems like it'll be a waste of time because I'll be going to places that I'm pretty comfortable. I'm going to be visiting places I'm pretty comfortable. I'm not going to go anyway. And I said, you're going to be a scientist, right? He was like, yeah. I said, so you realize that part of this whole thing is that you're going to do thousands of experiments that will yield no results. There are some scientists who spend their entire lives looking for something and in their careers not finding it, but building a body of work that other people can stand on and take it to the next level. I was like, so if you're not ready to do any experimentation, then maybe science ain't for you, and we need to talk more than just this college tour. And that's the thing about the kids, about us and my family. If you hit them with logic, like, we're stuck. But like, if it makes sense, we're going to go with it. So he went there and he got back, and I was concerned about when he got back because I was, because he's a great kid, so I don't want to just see him salty, like, wasting my time, blah blah blah. I said, so how was it? He was like, I found out where I'm going to go to college. I said, what happened? Where? He was like, because I'm thinking, oh, Hampton probably got him. Because, Hampton got that HBCU royalty, or Howard may have gotten him. Or he may have fell in love with his mother and his brother's alma mater, Morgan or whatever. He said North Carolina A&T. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. We don't even know nobody down there. Why that one? He said, I don't know. He said, I got off the bus. I got on the campus. I walked around, and I was like, I have to go here. This is a kid that had, so, okay. Yeah, he doesn't watch the show, so I can tell y'all. There was a little girl he liked in like the 6th grade. Why did he have a 6-month plan on how he was going to eventually ask her out? So like, this is what this dude does. He like not even ask her out, but like to tell her he liked her. This is how much he plans. But for him, it was like, he's like, I can't explain it. And that, and I tell that story, and I know James is back there like, do I have any time left? No, it's an hour show, bro. We good. You got time. But I just want to set the stage on why I think this is important. And let me tell you a little bit about Diddy. Diddy's SAT score was 15, 1560 or 1540. He started college with 85 AP credits. He had gotten into MIT, Carnegie Mellon, Cornell, UMBC, College Park. I'm sorry, he got in everywhere he applied to. MIT took him. And he was telling me how when he was there and he was getting to know the other kids in the honors college, and he was they were asking everybody, kind of share their stats or whatever. Everybody trying to see where everybody, we all here together, but you see where we're stratified. And he was talking about their stats. They were like, Dad, you could have got into MIT. He was like, I mean, I did. And they looked at him and they said, wait, you got into MIT and you still came here? And he said, yes, absolutely. From not wanting to go on this, he didn't say stupid, but it was that whole, this thing about, and again, I don't want to do Black people stuff, but like MIT has accepted, like it wasn't a question whether MIT was going to accept him. And he got on North Carolina A&T's campus and said, this is where I have to go. And he's there. He's going to graduate in 2020. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm glad I got you on. James. Okay, well, okay, sorry. You see how I lost professionalism? Okay, I apologize. I got all excited. I just remembered I just got a brand new piece of news that I want to share with him. So, okay. All right, now I'm going to bring him on up. It's been like 10 minutes. Okay, all right. I apologize. Okay. Brother, I am so sorry. I know that was a long reading. I was trying to, but I think the story is important. It is. Because it really indicates, to me at least, the importance of exposing kids to things, even when they think, hell no, this is no way. All right, so, hi, brother. Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody? I'm so excited just to jump in. I keep forgetting they don't know you already. So tell them about yourself.
All right, how y'all doing out there? My name I originally from Pontiac, Michigan, class of 91, high school, Pontiac Northern. I graduated from Morgan State University, class of 2000 with a business administration major. Had an internship my last semester in college. Got hired immediately after I graduated, and started right into the work world. Started in corporate America for about 9 years. I didn't like it. So I didn't like being told what to do. So I decided I wanted to start my own business. So I started in accounting and tax business. And after a while,
well, I want to, because so this is the cool part about talking to somebody who knows you, because you notice he didn't even. Some guests are like, "What is he stopping me?" James like, "Oh no, this is the way it's gonna work." I want to anchor in. Tell them what the business you started, because I want them to understand that the melanin you are associated with is also in a field of independence that is not always there. So I want to make sure they know this is possible.
Right. So when I started in corporate America, I was working for a CPA company, and then I realized that it just hit me. Came to work one day and I was just sitting around, looking around. I was like, nah, this ain't what I want to do the rest of my life. I don't want to be told when I can go on vacation, when I can take a break. It just wasn't in my spirit. Mm-hmm. I just started typing my resignation letter. But one thing I did know, I didn't know what I was going to do, but one thing I did know, that I can do what I'm doing in this office on my own. I had enough knowledge, I have enough experience to be somebody's accountant, mm-hmm. to be somebody's tax professional. I didn't need a CPA license behind me to be able to do it. And that's the direction I took. I said, oh, you know what? I can start on. So initially, this is a funny story. Initially, I did not have any clients. I didn't even tell my wife I had quit. Every morning, I would get up when she got up, and we would leave together. I would drive around the corner, get back in the driveway, get right back in the bed. I watched the History Channel for about 6 months. And then one day I was like, this is kind of crazy. One day I was like, I don't need deodorant on. I ain't going nowhere. And that's when I realized, hey,
gone too far.
Get out there and start making connections. And I'm a real personal person. So a lot of the clients I had with the CPA company was calling me like, yo, you're not working today, you're not working this week. I was like, so I was explaining to them that I had resigned. And they was like, hey, you want to do some accounting work with us? Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, 3, 4, 5 clients later, I was like, you know what, I can sustain this on my own. And I built a nice little small business on my own. And a few years later, and it wasn't really the money. It was more so my time. My time. I value my time. And that's what I teach a lot of my kids on my college tour. Value your time. Don't let nobody eat up your time, because you'll never get that time back again. So about 5 or 6 years into working for myself, I decided, no, I'm gonna start a foundation. So we started. So me and Dr. Ryan for the Ryan Institute started.
Big up Dante. I'm sorry. Big up Dr. Ryan. I'm sorry. And his wife, Jaika. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Right. So with my fraternity, we started doing SAT prep classes. So I was in charge of the educational department. So I just went out and just started really, really recruiting students to participate in our SAT prep classes. So we would have classes like every 3 months for about a month long of workshops. The very next year, it was around the time my son was starting to look at colleges. So I ended up just putting together a college tour, and the Ivy Leagues came into place because he was looking at Harvard and looking at Yale. So we started to just pull colleges together that he wanted to look at. And next thing you know, he invited a few of his friends. They invited a few of their friends. Next thing you know, I'm asking a fraternity, hey, we need to do a college tour. So we started doing college tours to the Ivy League colleges and to the HBCU colleges. One of the biggest differences between the two, so I've been doing it since 2015. One of the biggest differences between the two colleges, I think the Ivy League colleges has more resources.
Oh yeah,
their resources are just. It's hard to explain the level of resources that they have compared to the HBCU schools. I had a student on a tour at Harvard take us up into one of his buildings, and on the top of the building was this huge telescope, and we can look into space. He had access to it.
Oh, like I'm a student leader, and I can just go up here.
Right.
Wow.
So to me, those type of resources are just unmatched when you compare it to the HBCU schools. However, the flip side of that, what's so special about the HBCU schools, to me, just one graduating from an HBCU, Morgan State University, and visiting all of the different HBCUs in the country, the biggest difference on their side is their administration, their professors, they care a lot more about the student. And it's more of a family atmosphere. To me, the education is still pretty much the same, minus the additional resources that they may have.
And so one of the other things that I've noticed, so I graduated from a PWI, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, go Treevers. But one of the things, I did have an opportunity to work at Morgan and have been working alongside several other HBCUs in different capacities. One of the other things that I have also noticed is that HBCUs are more welcoming to students from backgrounds that other institutions wouldn't necessarily be accommodating.
Correct.
They understand what it means that you may have foster care in your background, that you may have family abuse, CPS, you may have limited academic proficiency. One of my friends, she was doing the summer bridge program actually at Morgan, and she in her summer bridge program had valedictorians, and it was like the top tier of students in Baltimore City schools, like, the ones who graduated like in the top, and then many of them were going to Morgan. She had the program specifically for those who graduated in the top of their classes in high school, but still were deficient in being able to take the placement test in like Math 101 or English 101. They still needed remedial work. And so, to your point, additionally, it's not just that the HBCUs don't have the resources, the financial and the academic resources. When I say academic resources, like equipment, that Ivy Leagues, PWIs, especially Ivy Leagues, have. It's also that they're dealing with students that those other schools don't even consider as like they're not even real students.
Right.
They may go. The students that a Morgan or a Coppin or a Bowie or a UMES may open their campus to. Harvard or MIT, what? Who?
Right.
Oh, well, let's get one of you all. You all have a Hunger Games academic battle, and
Right.
whoever is the winner will celebrate you. And look how wonderful we are at our Ivy League school, because we look at this one. This one was one of the look how, and it becomes and again, not saying everybody's just doing tokenism, but the sad part is about stuff like that. Everybody looks the same way. It's not like they wear t-shirts like "I will treat you like a token."
Mhm.
They all get their clothes to the same J. Crew catalog, and they show up, and you're like, well, which one are you?
Right.
And so because, and I want to make sure that is highlighted, because you're right, it's the same type of education, same quality and caliber, but they're working with students who have fewer resources, not just the school resources, but the students come to the table in many cases with fewer resources.
Right.
And they're still there to support.
Mm-hmm.
So all right. So I appreciate setting the context about how you came up with that, because I think it's important for people to understand. Because if they're, a lot of people, for some of them, college tours are just perfunctory. It's something you do, in case you want to go someplace, just to make sure. Because what you're going to do, not go. But talk about some of the things you've seen over the years during the college tours and the benefits that the students have experienced.
I'll say this, and I'm gonna give a little bit of a rundown of some of the things that we also provide.
Cool, yeah.
We also one of the primary things we try to do is prepare students not only for college but for life. So we do, when we put our program together, it's intentional. Everything we do, we try to do it intentionally. We make sure that we have monthly SAT prep classes, and we accommodate students that work. So we do SAT prep classes on the weekends and in the evenings. We do virtual college tours to accommodate. I mean, the virtual college tours actually kind of sprung out of the pandemic,
right?
Which was to me a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, there's a lot of it was a jacked up situation, but there were some good things that came out of it.
Right. So it allowed us to be able to expand our reach of the number of youth that we've been able to work with. So we've been able to work with students in Spain, Canada, California, Texas. I mean, it just expanded everywhere.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Congratulations, man.
Yes, it's crazy.
Good business, man.
Crazy. But it was very interesting. So we do provide the virtual college tour. We just went back to do our on-campus college tour. We do FAFSA workshops. We do college essay, and resume writing workshops to better prepare them to be accepted into college. And if they don't choose college, making sure that their resume is tight enough that they can go out and apply for a job or apply for an internship or what have you. But one big part of our program that sprung out of our college tours was in 2017. We were on the bus traveling from one school to the other, and I just started talking to a couple of students about some failed businesses that I've had. I've had many failed businesses, and the reason I was telling them about my failed business was because I thought that they would learn more about my failures than they would from my success stories. Because if I'm telling them what I did wrong, maybe if they decide to do that. So what sprung out of that conversation was a business pitch competition. So we were just having a broad discussion about different businesses, how to set them up, the functions of them, for-profit versus non-profit, LLCs versus C corps, and just telling them I was just giving them the basic concepts of it.
Right.
for teenagers, they were able to grasp that really quick. So we separated them into groups and had them come up with their own business strategy, to come up with their own budget and to be able to pitch that business idea to everybody on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I would give them cash prizes or computers, things like that, just to keep them inspired. From that, launched my entrepreneurship program in Baltimore City. I started over at Coppin Academy, being a volunteer. Just, hey, I want to just
big up Principal Ullman. Big up Principal Ullman over there at Coppin Academy.
He is the greatest. Then I started doing some work over at Douglas High School. Now I'm in St. Francis. I'm trying to get back into Reginald F. Lewis. Haven't been able to do that since the pandemic. But
slow up on that one for a little bit, partner. Holler at me off camera. Might need to pull your coat to the game. You might not want to do that right now.
All right. So to me, all right, we focus on college readiness and entrepreneurship, primarily because I'm looking at all of the students on my bus. Not all of them are going to go to college. Not even just not all of them are going to college. Even the ones that go to college, I think about all the people that I went to college with. How many of them actually graduated? And what do they do after that? So I was thinking of a different strategy of, hey, you can still be successful whether you go to college or not.
Right.
So that's when we just started doing our entrepreneurship program. We actually do it on the bus and in the high schools. So that's the direction that we've been going on over the past couple of years.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And tell us a little bit about well, we're gonna get to the successes and some things. We'll say that to the end because I love that. It's like dessert. But talk to us a little bit about some of the things that parents have learned in working with you. So one of the things that I also want you all to know about this program, and it's funny that you haven't mentioned it yet. It's been like a half an hour. There's a lot of workshops that they do for parents. Like there's a lot of communication with the parents, not just like your kid is messing up, you might want to come and get them, or where's your balance or whatever. It's like, hey, this is what we're teaching the kids. If you all want to come through and find out about it, hey, we talking about entrepreneurship. If you want to come through and find out about it, hey, come watch your kids do this. And it's a lot of parental engagement. And one of the things that I saw was that some of the workshops or some of the engagements, even some of the like random conversations at the bowling alleys or whatever, when we're doing the fundraisers, they changed the way that some of the parents saw their roles. Mm-hmm. They started I remember one workshop you did at the bowling alley. It was kind of an orientation for parents. Just this is what's going to happen, and they make sure. And a lot of parents, especially I remember because you were talking about the fraternity things and stuff like that, and they were like, well, and some people were like, yeah, I heard of fraternities, yeah, and it was clearly blanks, and it was an educational opportunity, right? To really, because if their kids decide to become part of a fraternity or sorority, that's going to have an implication on the family, and the parents had no idea what was going on. And I remember my mother and father were like, "So you walk in line like," and I was like, "Nah, whoa." Yeah, we've transitioned in decades now, so we don't.
Right. So we do a lot of family engagement. To actually be on our college tour, one of the very first things we do is have family engagement at Morgan State University. We kind of do that once a year. This year we're going to do it twice a year. This year we're going to do it twice. But the engagement that we do at Morgan State University, we want the parents to be able to see what the program is going to look like on a day-to-day basis when I take their kids away. Another thing, it helps with the comfort level of parents, because a lot of the parents, they're helicopter parents. They haven't really let their kids really out of their sight and on their own to try to help them make their own decisions, and that's why it's really important. And I'm going to say in my program to allow the kids to go out and experience things on their own and try to make decisions on their own. So we do that college. We call it College Readiness Day, where we get all the parents together, and then I bring out a lot of the coaches from Morgan State University, They come
Oh
out.
yeah.
I bring out the different fraternities and sororities. They'll come out, step, and talk about the history of their individual organizations. Then we'll attend the basketball game, and then we'll do a tour of the campus. And then we have another event, a family engagement event, where it's either a bowling or a skating event, and it helps to get the kids to socialize with each other, but not only that, but it also helps the parents to be able to meet our chaperones, to get to know us a little bit better,
and other parents,
right? Right. So we try to keep everybody connected and learning at the same time while they're having fun. Sometimes they don't really know they're learning stuff.
Right.
Because like I said, everything is done intentional and with the purpose. So they while we're having fun, they're learning things as well. Also do a event, and I always make this optional. I invite everybody out to my church. Because if I'm gonna take your kid away for 5 days, I want blessings of safe travel and mercy to and from my destination. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some of the things that we do. Now, we do quite a few things on the tour to keep the students engaged. Now, I'm not sure if anybody on here that's listening has ever took a group of teenagers away, but they're not the same teenagers that you have in your house. They're just not. They're going to do their best to try to sneak out the room, sneak into the girls' rooms or sneak into the boys' rooms, or they're going to listen to dirty music with a bunch of cursing in it. That's just what they do. I was a teenager. That's when my mom and parents wasn't around. That's what I listened to. I like listening to the Ghetto Boys.
My mom was always playing tricks on me.
I like listening to NWA. That was just me, but that was just our music. And the same thing with them. That's their music. My job and my chaperone's job is to catch them and make sure that they understand the repercussions of their actions and how it could not only affect them, but affect everybody else on the tour. So while we're on the tour, I'm talking about this year, because I implemented a program, because I have a lot of programs on my tour to eliminate their free time.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the programs I implemented was I call it the Heels Day. So I noticed that every year I've been teaching the men how to tie ties, which is important. Mm-hmm. A lot of them don't know how to tie a half Wisner or a full Wisner. So we teach them that, but I also show the young ladies that as well. Because I always tell them I'm a married man, but nothing is more beautiful than when my wife fixes my tie or when she picks the right tie out for me. I love it. That's why I show the women how to tie ties. But this year we also added teaching the women how to walk in heels, how to walk professionally in heels, because they're going to be at that age where it's time for them to go out for job interviews. Like if you're applying for the Ivy Leagues, you're going to get interviewed. So being able to walk in heels is important. And when it's time for graduation, nobody, you know how you see them when they walk.
What do they call it? Looking like a baby giraffe.
So we added that to our program.
That's really cool.
One of the bigger parts is one of the things that I like the most is our elevator pitch competition.
Mm-hmm.
We teach kids how to be able to sell themselves in a matter of 30 seconds to a minute. That is crucial to the rest of their lives. No matter what happens in life, just like today, William was like, one of the very first questions he asked me was, tell me something about your program. It's no different. I just gave him my elevator pitch.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what we teach the kids, and that's what they when they come home, they know how to sell themselves. They know a lot of things about themselves, and we always start with a basic construct of what an elevator pitch is. So we say, make sure the very first thing you want to tell them your full name, and make sure you say it strongly. Tell them what high school you go to, what grade you in, what your GPA is. If you don't have a favorable GPA, say I'm an aspiring 4.0 student. Tell them 3 adjectives to describe yourself, and then tell them what your future plans is, or ask them a question. What do you want out of this meeting that you're trying to get? Do you want an investment? Do you want another meeting? What do you want? Ask that. They every year, man, the kids do an excellent job at it. And every year I post all the videos of them working on it and the finishing product.
Okay, so wait, real quick, I just want to know because so one of the things that I was happy to have you here because I was looking at some of your stuff on Facebook and my little download finger said, no, you got to ask them first. Yeah, you got to ask them first. So can we use it and air it in this show?
Oh, sure.
Oh, cool. Because I really want, because again, like when I tell you this, the work that you've done with the kids, and people don't understand how them just feeling comfortable will change how they engage college, period. It is amazing, just that level of comfort. Like, oh, I know something other people don't. I've already been here. Oh, let me show you where the cafeteria is.
Right.
It sounds so petty, so minuscule, but all of a sudden you got swag because you know where the cafe is first. Yeah. And oh no, don't go that way. Come on, go this way.
Right.
It's so funny because but you like you know what I'm talking about, like that, to know something, to be in the middle of all your peers, to be like that, and that's one of the benefits of the college tour. That is one of the benefits of all of this engagement beforehand, because it literally can change the entire trajectory of their college career. It's different showing up than, oh, James, yeah, remember me from the first day, as opposed to, oh my God, I don't know nobody here. And nobody's going to talk to me. Oh my God. Not even the same experience.
I eliminate that question right there, that whole statement, because from the time that the door closes, we start programming with a program called You Know Me, I Know You, You Know Me. So soon as that door closes, I send the kids, we all in a group chat, I send them a list of questions, about 4 questions and an open-ended question and a tell me a secret about you. So everybody is sitting next to each other. So everybody got these questions. So now they got to ask the person right next to them, and they got to ask the they got to switch. So every 3 minutes from the time we get from our Baltimore location, our first stop is always Bowie. That's about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. They're switching every 3 minutes, asking every single person on the bus. So by the time we get to Howard or Norfolk, they have met 45 different people that's been on the bus and been on the tour, and now everybody is a lot more comfortable, a lot more familiar with each other. So I think we do a really, really excellent job with making sure that the college tour is not just about education. Now, I know that sounds crazy.
No, you. I tell it. Again, I got evidence that it worked. So like you ain't selling nothing to the choir here.
Right.
Go ahead.
A lot of parents see the thing about it. A lot of parents tend to forget about. I call it that 40% about college that's going to help your students stay in college, because when you don't have those kind of conversations and you don't show them the other side of college, other than just the books and going to class and the library. No, they need to be talking about dorm life. They need to be talking about the food. If you cannot send a child off to college and not talk to them about internships. Internships, especially for HBCU school students. Internships is what I call the equilibrium when you got to go out there and compete against the PWIs and the Ivy League schools. There's only one way to balance that out, is to get internships. That way, supervisors, managers know who you are. They know your work ethic. Typically, most people want to hire somebody that they know what their work ethics are and got a little bit of history with. And that's why by the time you leave my tour, you already know internships is so key to the success of a college student. It's hard to compare to anything else.
So you don't even got to, because I got you on this one. This is the cool part about I got receipts on this. I don't come tell you what I think, I tell you what I know. So Diddy got his internship after his first year, his second year. This third year, they offered him an internship. He said no. You know why he said no? His mother had already paid for a vacation, and she was like, "No, if you got the internship, you can go." He was like, "No, because okay." I think he might be bringing the girlfriend on the trip.
Oh Lord!
And again, I was like, okay, all right,
yeah.
But guess what? But let me give you a sense of, and be careful, because remember, I told you that he turned down MIT to go to North Carolina A&T, right?
Right.
he told them that the 4 weeks came in the middle, the part of the 4 weeks that they wanted him to go to Botswana to do research on coding on aerosol dispersal. That they needed 4 weeks. He was like, the vacation is in it. They came back to him and was like, hey, well, would you be willing to do it for 2 weeks? And they were like, tell us when your vacation is, and we'll try to see. And I was like, don't nobody do that for me, dog. And I got like degrees and like I got student loan debt, bro. And so again, big ups to y'all, because like he was keyed into that internship part. I was in real talk. I was more focused on him speeding through the classes so he can finish with his master's or fast on his doctorate. But he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the internship." And I was like, "Again, you make good decisions. You've been doing well so far, so I'm gonna let it go." And boom. He has like he studied muons. I didn't even know that there was a thing called a muon. I didn't know. I had to do it straight up. I keep forgetting we on camera, not like just talking to you. My fault. But I had to look to the camera like, let me tell you what happened. I literally had to go out and buy Quantum Physics for Dummies books in between his semesters so I could keep up with him when he got back home. But yeah, so you are absolutely right about the internships, and you all do a great job of really hammering that in, and not just you got to get one. Because when I was an undergrad, everybody was like, you got to get one. I was like, okay, and I got there. My first internship, I was at the mayor's office. It was the largest waste of time I have ever had. The most exciting thing I did was send a 13-page legal size fax to Seoul, Korea. It was my first international fax. But that was it. And so I was like, this is what y'all wanted me to do? So this is how, I don't like this. No, thank you.
But that was the key point of it, is that not only does it help you with your career, but it also lets you know what you don't want to do for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
I had an internship with General Motors, and most of my family are from Michigan. They all work in the plant. But when I had that internship, I knew from the second day I was there that I did not want to do this the rest of my life. And that helped me out a lot. It put me on a different career path. I was like, there's no way I'm doing that.
So how this is, I use dating as a metaphor for business all the time. You might be able to do it for academics as well. Internships are like dating. Okay. All right. You don't want to commit to a job, like I put a ring on no job till I see what you got. Like, internship a little bit while I'm volunteering, maybe a little bit of pay. You give me a little bit of benefits. I give you a little bit of work. And we see if we can grow somewhere. I'm going to work on a metaphor. I'm going to work on it. That might actually write a book about that. Dating an internship or something. All right. So tell us about, and I also want to save some time so we can add in the videos about them doing the pictures. That it's so cool to watch. It is so cool to watch. Like just to watch them stand there and just spit who they are, and it's just like, it is really cool. Because a lot of times we see the images, like, and again, not saying that they're not the type of kids who be put on front store gang signs or twerking. Not saying that they're not, but it's so beautiful to have a set of images that are not those images.
Right.
Because even if that's something you do, because I got habits and proclivities. Okay, I'm not taking pictures of them for you, but it is. But those are the types of images we see when people are talking about Black kids, especially that age, that demographic, Tatianas and thug life and da 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 da. And it's like to see 40 kids just like I'm trying to get my education. Like whatever. And the cool part is. I'm sorry, I'm doing all the talking. My bad, dude. But it's like I've seen it because like they're different kids. That's the other part too. It's not like you all get the same kid from every school because because normally when you think about field trips from school, there's a certain type of kid that goes, and you can always tell when it's not going to be a good field trip because there's at least 2 kids that don't look like every other kid. It's like, oh yeah, those are the ones they get on the bus a little too active. They like a little. Okay, but you all of the kids show up and you all have a way to manage them. I think some of it is the family engagement and some of it is just the brothers that you bring and the sisters you bring with you. Talk a little bit about how that is, because I know that was one of my things. I'm like, so you want me to send my kids all over the United States, and I'm not even like going to be remotely there. That's what if? Oh my God! What if somebody catches them?
A lot of parents want to go on our tour because of the uncomfortable feeling of so many males being on the tour, but with the prerequisites to be on our tour, we get them to a comfort level so that by the time it's actually time for us to go on a tour, everybody's comfortable. But I'm gonna talk about my team a little bit. I pretty much work with some of the same people every year on our tour. My nephew Harold Skandrick, he flies in from Michigan to be on the tour, and it's helped him out as well because it inspired him to go back to college and get his degree. He graduated last year with his bachelor's degree.
Big up, Harold. That's big, yo. Big. That's good news, yo. Congratulations, Harold.
So he's been on my tour since 2017. Derek Hamlin, it's my line brother. He's a lawyer. He's an active lawyer and a comedian. He wears a couple of hats, but he's my lawyer. He's been on the tour since 2018. And then we had I added a chaperone and business partner, Nick Miles. He's a coach, and this is our intentional. Some of the best motivational speakers are coaches, and that's one of the reasons I added him to our college tour, just to keep it always working with the kids, always trying to inspire them and inspire students. And he's been working with kids since he left college. He started at the YMCA on 33rd. Now he has one of the top 10 basketball programs, high school basketball programs in the country. And we added another young lady, Renanda Johnson. She has her own nonprofit, and used to working with young ladies in the Bowie PG area. So that's pretty much my team. All of us have a wealth of experience and working with teens, so we know our way around the block a little bit.
All right, that's what's up. And honestly, I know just about everybody you mentioned there, and they're all top quality people. And what's more, not just that they're top quality in the level of their competence, like their technical ability, professionally or whatever, but they actually give a damn about what they're doing. This isn't just like, let me just show up. And because again, I don't know if you all have ever been on a trip with a bunch of kids. I would not go on the college tour. And again, I was asked, no, thank you at all. Now, I don't like going on vacation with my kids because it's like there's so much stuff to think about, worry about. Can I get no? But you all do it every year, and it's volunteer. And these are brothers and sisters that are really trying to make sure that these kids have an opportunity to transform their lives and really not have to deal with a lot of the stuff that many of us still have to deal with. You know what I mean? It's the talent and tips taking it to the place that it should be.
And the kids, you have to be on the tour just to see the change in their eyes and to see the moment that they find. Like, I can tell, because I'm always looking at them at body language. I can tell when they found their school. When I was at Morgan, let me see, when I went to a PWI before I got to Morgan, Northeastern Christian Junior College out in Pennsylvania. And I got to Morgan. I just filled out an application. They sent me an acceptance letter, and I just drove up to Morgan. I knew one person at Morgan at the time, and he lived in Baltimore. And that's all he talked about was Morgan. So when I got up here, I kind of parked off of I think that was Hillen, and then walked up behind where the old Sofer Library was. And when I passed the library, this is when registration used to be in McKeldin Center, right on the bridge. So I passed the library, and I look to my left, and I just see a sea of Black people, and it stopped me in my tracks. I literally just stopped for like 5 minutes and was like, "This is amazing." That's when I knew this is my home, and that's what I look at, and that's what I see when I see a lot of the kids when they finally make the sense. A lot of times when they come up to me and tell me, I already know. I already know which school you want to. I already know which school you decided on, because it's just a feeling of this is my home. Not like, hey, this is a building I'm trying to get a degree from. No, this is my home, and that's how I felt when I got to Morgan.
Yeah, that's exactly the way Diddy described it. He was like, I have to go here. There's and it was so funny because up until that point, it was like, I guess it depends on who's going to give us the most money. I guess it depends. And it's like, the thing that because he went on the Ivy League tour with you before he went on the HBCU tour with you.
Yeah.
So when he had gone on the Ivy League tour, he got to the buildings at MIT, and he was like, Dad, I just walked around and the buildings look like sadness. Like they just look old and like nobody really cared about anything. I was like, damn, I didn't. When he was at, it wasn't Hampton. It was, and it was, again, very particular. And he has flourished, not just as a student, as a scientist, but as a man. And as a dad, I am really proud of how he has shown up there. And again, literally was trying to get out of going on the whole trip so he could sit around and play Yu-Gi-Oh all week on spring break. Like, and that's why I want to make sure that I want to tell that story in particular, because I want people to understand, like, it would have been easy, honestly. Well, we want to have some real talk. It would have been easier, honestly, back then, especially because my wife and I, we were exes by that point, and she had spent the money. So, the little petty part of me was like, I mean,
all right.
But that decision could have gone either way. And that the fact that he went literally has changed the trajectory of my family's life. So now let's tell them how they can get with the college tour. Because guess what? It's not just he got a bus for you. He got some virtual stuff. He got classes. He got stuff. So how can they get in contact with you? How can they make sure that they stay in contact with MTM?
All right. You want to reach MTM Foundation, check us out on our website, www.mtmcollegetours.org. Or you can call me 443-768-6939.
Come on, dude. Stop playing. It's on video. Say it slow. These people, they try to pull out a pen while you talking.
All right. Write it down now. mtmcollegetours.org. Or you can also call me at 443-768-6939.
Cool. Because again, I'm trying to make sure you ain't missing no money on these streets. I ain't trying to have that. Like, I would have called him, but I thought I didn't catch that last number. No, sir. Y'all need to call him.
Our next college tour is going to be August the 22nd through the 26th. We're also going to be having a summer program, entrepreneurship programs called the CEO Club. It's going to be virtual. It's going to start July the 5th. It's going to end August the 23rd. No, I'm sorry, August the 19th. So
okay.
July the 5th to August the 19th is going to be virtual. At the end of our CEO Club is going to be our business pitch competition. We're going to be giving out over $1,000 in prizes. I think the last time I had a bunch of investors that came on, friends that own businesses, and we gave out over $5,000 outside of the $1,000 prize that I give to the first place prize winner.
All right, so make sure that you keep us in the loop and make sure you get back on here so as the time gets closer and draws nigh, we can get people out here to support it and watch, because again, these kids are out here doing some real stuff. Like these are the training grounds. This is where it happens. This is where we help shape them. A lot of times we talk about, well, how did they get out there and not know how to do that? Well, when did you stop to tell them? This is where we stop to tell them.
Exactly.
So I'm sorry. Again, you know what? I'm gonna let you talk eventually. Nick, you got to come back so you do more talking next time. That's what's gonna happen. You gonna come back and you gonna talk.
Hey, it's a collaboration of shared experiences, because you've gone through it and you listen to your son tell you the stories of how great of an experience he's had. And it's just
and I'm sorry, real quick. I'm talking about one son, but both of them had an amazing time. Actually, that's what actually got LJ to end up coming back to Morgan after he left Temple.
Okay.
Because he was like, he went to Morgan into college. Because before, I mean, we lived right around the corner. He was like, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. And then after the college, he was like, I mean, it's not that bad.
Until you see what's so great about it. That's what's going to make you change your mind. And we try to do our best to show you, not only show you the great parts of it, but to show you the negative and bad parts of it as well.
Right. So you can make a good decision. Right.
Because it's hard. To me, it's hard to make a decision when all you hear is the best things about a university. And that's one thing that is so different from us. Like a lot of times I don't even allow the university to give my tours. I get student leaders, student organizations to give the tour, because then you can get real answers out of them.
Right.
And then we also spend a good 30 to 45 minutes and we talk to the kids in the very beginning. We give them a couple basic questions. Now go find a student and ask them the question. And then usually by the third or fourth school, now they figured it out. Now they're asking their own questions, like what do they want to know about this university that's going to help them decide whether or not this is going to be a good fit.
But wait, there's a skill development activity right in there as well. It is the opportunity to get to know people. It is the training ground to do that, and not just do it on one of the college campuses that you might be going to with college students, but still in the safety and security of this college. Sure, it is a practice and socialization in college. I mean, hell, that's actually part of the model of many of the first year experience programs. Good business, bro.
Sometimes it's not about what you know, it's who you know, and it teaches them that from the beginning. You got to be able to network from day one. And I'm gonna share this last story with you.
Okay.
Because this is amazing about networking and just talking to people. Because when I put them on these tours, they meet a lot of. We was at Norfolk. This is a different story. We was at Norfolk, and I introduced them to a gentleman that started out as a recruiter. Now he is the connect for scholarships. He's the one that give out the money, and I bring him to the students. I'm like, hey, whenever you meet some people, you got to make sure you understand how to introduce yourself, how to get their contact information, how to follow up. I'm telling the students, this is the connect. If you need to connect with this scholarship, you can't go beyond him. You can't even go to the president of the university to get the scholarship. He is the only person that you can get it from. So make sure that when you before you leave here, you got his information. You send him an email. You communicate back and forth. That leads me back to my story to Columbia University. One of my frat brothers, his name is Daniel. He's from Africa, but he's been living in the United States for over 20 years. He graduated from Columbia. Now he told me this story when he was a junior. He was telling me about this story when he was a junior, but also the story continued until he graduated. So he got invited to an event that was meant for upperclassmen only. I mean graduate students only. So one of his frat brothers, snuck him into this little cocktail happy hour type event that was going on campus with a bunch of billionaires and millionaires. Because Columbia, they
got back
them extra resources. So they're commingling, and he's just at the bar, and this young lady came up to him, and they just started talking. He didn't know who she was. He was just sharing his information about his experience at Columbia. At the end of the day, he got her business card. Come to find out, she works for Goldman Sachs. Later that night, he emails her. A month later, he emails her again. And they just started this communication back and forth about how he's doing in school. At the end of his junior year, she emails him. It's like, what are you doing this summer? He says nothing. I'm going back to Florida. She's like, would you want an internship? Would you want to work for Goldman Sachs? Outside of his major. This wasn't even nowhere near what he majored in. So he ended up getting an internship with her. He did really well with the internship, stayed in contact with her. By the time he graduated from Columbia, which was a year later, they offered him a job. making $145,000 a year. He took the job. You don't come out of college making $145,000 a year. You just don't. You just don't.
But that's because somebody put him on game.
Yeah. And that's what is that's why, you know, that's part of why I try to get the kids when we're on the campus to talk to people, get their email address, get their business card, follow up. You never know what resources you're going to need or have in the future.
Good business, man. But I think honestly, that's a great place to leave on today. I was like, you just dropped knowledge. It's like you timed it just to get out right there. We are. Brother, thank you so much for being here, man. I am so grateful. And I'm looking forward to the next time, and keep us updated on the tours and all the rest of the stuff that you're doing. Actually, you know what? We're going to take some bonus time, and I'm going to add to this video some of the clips of your kids so everybody can check them out.
Definitely. Please.
All right, man.
Oh, appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Take it light. Now talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I told y'all I know some dope people, didn't I? Y'all don't even understand the level of dopeness. Like heroin, crack, all that. It's like crystal meth. I don't really do those drugs, so I can't tell you how they rank in drugginess, but I know dope people. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it has been a pleasure, and I am so looking forward to seeing you, and we will be black tomorrow.